applause. First, I just want to say, obviously, thank you to Steve for putting on another amazing show. Thank you to the judges. And thank you to everyone out here who came out to support. Give your hands, give yourselves a nice round of applause. Obviously, it's been a rough couple of years, Almost everyone thinks I haven't competed in 2 years, but I've done the show last year and won it. But that's okay. I missed the Olympia 2 years, and it was rough. It was tough, and I decided to make some changes in my life where I had to exit some people out and bring some new people in, and I am very happy with the decisions that I made. I teamed up with not only one of my best friends, but Kyle Wilkes, and we have done an incredible job together. And I just remember sitting down and I told him, when we do this, I need to come back to the stage and I need to be the Nick Walker everyone remembers me as. And not only do I think we did that, I think we improved upon that. And I just put everybody on notice that the mutant is coming for the 2025 Mr. Olympia title.
Nicely done. Congratulations. You're an amazing champion.
Thank you very much.
I'm not surprised that Terrence won again because I predicted this all the way before he went to New York, that he was going to win, that he's going to be a double champion, winning Pittsburgh and New York, and he's going to carry that momentum into Olympia. And I'm not surprised because the package that this man brought is enough to win. And don't forget, Stevie Weinberger said he opened the door a little bit at Pittsburgh, so he filled out more, and he looked way bigger than he looked in Pittsburgh. So with that being said, I'm not surprised. I think he's carrying a very strong momentum into Olympia, and that is a statement. And this dude, I kind of feel bad for him because it's hard doing these tough shows back to back in places second. I know any other show he's going to do now, he's going to be a win for sure, because coming second in Pittsburgh and coming second in New York, that is a big lineup, big show. And this dude is really, really solid. He's going to be a threat in Olympia for sure once they qualify, and there's no way he's not going to qualify. The only way he's not going to qualify if he chooses not to compete again for the year. That's the only way he's not going to qualify, because he is peeled to the bone, good structure, everything. I've said it before. It's just his leg. I know what time that will come up for the Open, right? I don't know, like Regan. I like Regan. But I think this is probably the best we see Regan. But I think the Regan leg is too small to compare, compared to the guys at the Olympia. I think even if you qualify, you'll probably be top 10. But cracking that top 7 is not going to be possible because of his lower half. When it comes to Cruiser is just, I think his posing needs to improve a lot, the way he poses. I think he's a big man that opposes himself. Oppose himself in a bad way, not in a good way. He doesn't really highlight his strong body parts, to dominate others. He doesn't. And like you say, he needs serious posing coach. When it comes to Nick Walker, I think Nick Walker brought the same package. I think he's full. He's on. Nick is on. Nick look good. I think for me, I just feel his vibe. Nick don't want to be here, but he's still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he need our Olympia qualification. But William Bonac is a veteran. I think this might be Bonac last year. The run, he had a good run this year. With one side of his body, the muscle atrophy is really, really showing so bad. Congratulations to Larry Wheel finally getting his pro card and stuff like that. This is more like a celebrity pro card. Larry ain't no kid, and he's not gonna he doesn't have that time to grow that leg to be competitive in bodybuilding stage, especially when we're talking about classic men, guys like this. So That should be a celebrity. I think Olympia probably need to open like a celebrity division, because those are just distraction in classic, in the professional level. No disrespect to these dudes. So yeah, it was a good show. I know Terrence came. He show up, show out. I know Terrence will want to win the Olympia. He might not want to do Dubai. If I were him, I'm gonna think about it. You know, I think about Dubai and go get a Dubai check and come back. Yeah, this dude, like I said, he's pretty. He look awesome. His leg is just narrow. You know, it's just that's just his. That's just the thing. Now, anytime he's running to these guys that have these round legs, it's gonna be his kryptonite. You know, it's gonna be kryptonite. Congratulations to this man, and finally he won. You know, I was surprised that he played all the way to fourth in Pittsburgh, and I'm glad he redeemed himself here. 3-time Mr Olympia, men's physique and branding. Congratulations to him, and just taking that winning momentum back to Olympia. You know, Brandon is 3 times men's physique Olympia, so he doesn't really need a qualification to go back to Olympia. He can go to Olympia whenever he chooses. But you know, he's a professional bodybuilder. You know, competing and winning some prize money, and you know, giving something to your sponsor to work with is something that's very important. You know. Congratulations to Terrence, and you know, we've talked much about him in this video. He won. I guess you know it's time to shut it down for the year, rest, relax his body, and then head back into Olympia prep. And that is the only thing missing in this my resume. And he's the man with the highest numbers of title in classic physique win. He's the man now. Have the title. He has won more shows in classic physique than anyone. So the only thing missing in his resume is the Olympia title. If he clinched that Olympia title this year, that's it. It's a wrap. You know, congratulations to Natalia. I'm really happy for this girl. You know, she won, and back to back, just like Terrence. Carrying that some momentum to Olympia. I really want her to win this year. I want to see her win this year too. She's a good person for the sport. I think she's a good ambassador for that division as well. Yeah, she did. She should look good, and congratulations to him. You know, now I'm talking about women too, because y'all say, no, I don't talk about women. I'm surprised this guy won. I'm surprised because I'm not surprised that he won in the sense that he wasn't supposed to win. You know, I thought Angel might use my win because of his name, stuff like that. Sass, for me, I think Sass trade is conditioned for size a little bit, so it kind of misses mark. Maybe his body's just tired. I think this is the third show he's doing for the year, and he probably has been on prep for more than 20 weeks. And it's a normal thing for your body to start slowing down and start telling you like, hey, you know, I'm tired. You can't keep pushing me like this, you know. So, yeah, like I said, if I were him, I would have skipped New York. I think there was no reason for him to do New York. I think he would have just prepared himself to go to California Pro. You know, so you see what happened in Pittsburgh. You know, there was no way you're gonna beat Nick, and he kept running into big dudes, and it's gonna be hard for you to beat him. So I feel like, you know, he should have sat down, you know, sat New York Pro out and just put everything he had left in a tank for California Pro and get his qualification. You know, he's a man that's been grinding all year too. So yeah, he's the man himself. Nick is not happy. He just, you know, like, you can feel it. You know, it's just like, man, it is. Let's do it. You know, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's get it over with. Yeah, he looked good. He's still the same Nick. I don't see any difference, but I just feel like he's a little bit tired. I think he's a little bit tighter when you look from the back. Yeah. Or maybe it's my eye. What you guys think? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, I think he'll look a little bit tighter here than Pittsburgh, right? I think so. But at least at the end of the day, he's going to Olympia. So if I know he's one to try to make a statement in Olympia, which is not going to be easy because now you going against guys that is more aesthetic, going against now Samson, going against Hardy, you're going against Derek, which he should have beaten Derek. So for me, I don't know. Yeah, we already talked about this man. The reason why I brought this video back is just look at this man's leg. Look at the definition, the depth in his legs. Like, it's so thick, so dogged in. Like, this is the reason why this Mikey winning shows. His leg is bananas. Like, look at it. When he stomped that leg on the ground, it is over with. I think the only issue that Terrence is having is not issue. The only problem he has is his back. There's nothing he can do about it. That is genetics. He can only improve it as much as possible. But making that a 3D, that is not going to happen because he's not genetically gifted in that department. So he's only going to manage what he has to work with. And because Terrence have every other attribute, good leg, good shoulder, good chest, right? Good presentation, carried himself, very humble, very respectful. So is a man that is qualified when you check the boxes to represent the division, to be the flag bearer of that division. So for me, I hope he win Olympia just to crown it all, this year. And we finally said, oh, Terrence won Mr. Olympia. After every other title he has won, and he finally got it. Finally clinched the title. And I know I talk about Terrence a lot in this video. The reason why I'm talking about we haven't talked about Terrence for a long period of time, especially the year he took out to improve, to turn this to this Terrence. So I believe that if this Terrence was in last year's show, it would have been a whole different ballgame. I think he would have been the person that would be pushing Chris for that first place. So let's see how he unfold. Let's see at the Olympia go this year. Let's see how Mike Summerfield and Ertz and other guys, how they're gonna Mike the Bull. Let's see how they're gonna hold against each other and Ramon. So for me, if you ask me, I always said it, I don't see Mike as a classic guy. I think if you take the vacuum off of him, he's a complete bodybuilder. I think most of those guys can go into bodybuilding, take 1 year off and put all the size they want in the water, and they will win they will win NPC show to qualify for Olympia in open. Ramon can grow. His body wanna grow. Mike the same thing. Even us body wanna grow. But they're sucking themselves down to classic. That's why I sometimes look at there's some guys that should be in open because their height give them the leverage because to be at least 250 on stage. And imagine a guy that is 5'7" like me, I can only be 190, 192 to weigh in. Maybe after carb up, my body might go all the way to let's say 200 to 2 something. But you compete against that have 200, that's about 240, 250 pounds heavier than you. So you fighting the 240, 45, 30, 25 pound difference. That is no joke. That 25 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds of muscle ain't no joke. If you put on quality muscle, 5 pounds on the right places, is going to change your entire look. So I really hope Olympia will do something about it. When it comes to the division, I think it's the time I think he's okay for them to, guys are like 5'7", 5'7", should be at least 200 pounds on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like 5'6" should be at least 192. Because I don't understand why you give 10 pounds to an inch. It just, I won't say it doesn't make sense, but when you look at it, that's a lot of pounds to give to 1 inch. You know, I think maybe 5 pounds or 3 pounds should go by inch. So when you're giving a guy that is already have a room, even when they adjust the weight cap, they still add extra weight to the taller guys. Like, as a shorter guy, when you're too big, before you know, now they start seeing you as a 212. Now they start like, oh, you need to move to 212. You know, classic, because you're not tall. Even when you look at the shows, they pick most of the taller guys. And to be as a shorter guy, you have to be exceptional in order for you to be in that category. In order to be in that lineup with those tall guys, always a tough guy, 5'9", 5'10". You know, 6 foot guys. You see them all the time in the show. So that is not fair to a guy that is 5'7", 5'6", 5'5". You know, that have good physique, but can't put on the size to compete against these taller guys because his height is short and he don't have the room to grow up because the weight cap. You know, so I really think, you know, they need to regulate the weight cap a little bit, you know, to make it an even field for everybody, you know. So I think that is really, really important. I think that makes a lot of sense to me as well. I think it also make a lot of sense to all the guys that is under that weight. So with that being said, please guys, share, subscribe, comment, and I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm out.